How to prepare for a job interview. This is the first video of the Ace the Interview series where I'll be covering the topics related to interview skills and tips on preparing for the interview. But let me tell you, I'm not going to cover all the topics like what to wear to an interview or how many hours to sleep before the interview day or what essentials to carry to an interview room. I am sure you might have watched several videos on this particular aspect and you might have read a lot of blog articles. So basically, this particular video is only going to cover the communication part. How to communicate to the organization or the company that you are the right fit. You are the perfect fit for the job role or the vacancy. So let us begin. Hi, I'm Ishani Gupta, radio anchor and a public speaking coach. Let me tell you that I also play a number of other different roles. I'm an editor, I'm a translator, I'm a social media manager as well as website editor. And the purpose of me telling you this is the fact that I have applied for the various jobs, various part-time jobs, and I got selected based on the interviews that I have appeared for in the past 7-8 years. And I have done my own analysis of what exactly is required by the company, by the organization. And if you get to know that, it will be so comfortable for you to handle any job interview. So let us begin and get into the first segment of this video, which is what is the purpose of an interview? What exactly the company is looking for from a candidate? There are two important things that a company or the organization is looking for or is assessing in a particular candidate. The first thing is obviously the skill set. What are the skills that a particular candidate has? Whether the skill sets are a total match to what their requirements are. You need to know what are those skill sets, what are the skills that this company or the organization is looking for, and prepare for that. Write down the skill sets and you need to communicate. I'll get to the second segment, which is about communicating that you are the right candidate. So before that, you must know that what are those skill sets that the organization is looking for, okay? If your skill sets are a perfect match to the company's requirements, then of course the job is yours. The second very important thing, it is not only the skill sets, but another thing that is very important that any organization looks for in a candidate, and that is the person's personality. Some organizations name the interview as the personality test. In India, the Union Public Service Commission, the UPSC examination that recruits the bureaucrats, they have termed the interview as the personality test because they are looking for a candidate with the right personality. So personality is very important. You will often find a psychologist sitting among the group of interviewers. This psychologist, what he or she does is look at the candidate's hand movements, facial expressions, the way or the style of talking, the way he or she is walking. Everything together will tell the psychologist what the personality traits this person has, this candidate has, whether he or she is nervous, whether he or she is being genuine self or pretending to be something which he or she is not. So it is very important that you be your genuine self. That is the best thing you can do. Don't pretend to be something else because XYZ trainer has told you to do. Yes, you need to appear confident, but that doesn't mean that you just choose to become something or someone who you are not. Only the honest person, the genuine person is rewarded. The interviewers there will figure out whether you are pretending to be something or someone or you are being your genuine self. So obviously, personality is another very important thing. So these two things, personality and skill sets, if these two things are equal to the job requirements of the company, then definitely the job is yours. That brings me to the second segment of this video, which is how to communicate that you are the right fit for this company or this organization. I'm going to tell you 5 important things that you should keep in mind. You should prepare beforehand, be ready with them, so that whenever you need to communicate during the interview or whenever you are asked, then definitely you can let them know, you can showcase those things to them. So what these things are? First, educational qualification. Obviously, the job that you are applying for, that has a requirement of some minimum educational qualification, right? Every job has that. So if you want to apply for the UPSC exam, the Union Public Service Commission exam, then definitely you should have graduate level degree. If you want to be a graphic designer, if you are applying for that post, then of course you should have some degree or diploma in graphic designing. If you want to be a journalist, if you want to work in a media house, then definitely you should have a degree or a diploma in mass communication or journalism. So you get the idea, right? Secondly, the second important thing is proof of accomplishments. Now, by accomplishments, I don't mean that you enlist all the things that you have achieved, you have won throughout your life since your KG's days, okay? Definitely avoid those. This is not something that you will include in your CV. So instead, what you need to do is find out only those accomplishments that are relevant to the job position that you're applying for. So you might have achieved a lot of things. Try and find out, go back during your school days, your college days, there might be something that you have done. And that might have some related skill sets that might have required you to do something, and write them down. What are those things that you have accomplished? For example, you might have worked as a volunteer. That might have required you to be in a leadership role. So definitely add that to your CV. Or maybe you have worked or you contributed to some organization with your graphic designing skills. So in that case, include that. Or maybe you have won some really great competition, some painting competition. So even that is important. You can write down if you are applying for an organization where they're recruiting an artist or something, okay? This is how you pick out your accomplishments that are relevant to the job position. That will help them know that yes, you are the right fit, because these are the few things, these are the accomplishments that showcase your talent, that showcase your expertise. Okay, so that brings me to the third point, examples of your work experience, your contribution to the previous organization or the company that you have worked for. You might be changing your company, you might be joining some other company or organization, but in your previous organization, you might have achieved a lot of things. You might have gained a lot of experience, might have played different roles. So add that. For example, you might have helped the company, your previous company, increase their sales by whatever percentage. That is an accomplishment, that is some experience that you have gained and your contribution to the previous company. Now you might be wondering, especially the freshers, that I have not ever worked in a company. I'm just looking for a fresher job, what to do? So in that case, don't worry. There is always a way of increasing your work experience, and that is through internships. Yes, internships are the best way to increase your work experience as well as to acquire some skills. I know I had this huge confusion when I was a fresher and I did not know what to do. I was applying in different companies for different jobs, but I was not getting a job. Why? Because I did not have any work experience or skill set. I did not do any internship before. And that was the problem, which I realized later. So it is important that you get into some company, whether they are looking for paid interns or free interns, it doesn't matter. But get into a company that is going to teach you something, that is going to give you some skill sets. All right. Now we come to the fourth point, the fourth most important point, and that is demonstration of the skills. Some companies, some organizations, they test the candidate on the spot. For example, when I applied for the editor position, the different organizations, the different companies had asked me to demonstrate my skills. They gave me pieces of articles to edit. And when I applied for the translator role, they again asked me to translate parts of speeches, different paragraphs. So that is how they can test you on the spot if it is possible. All right, so be prepared for that too. Okay, so now we come to the fifth and the final thing that you should be prepared with, and that is the portfolios. In the previous point, I mentioned that you need to demonstrate your skills, right? But sometimes what happens is it is not possible for the people, for the interviewers to test your skills on the spot. So instead, they would ask you to show your portfolios. By portfolios, what I mean is the sample of your work, sample of what you have done. So maybe you are a content writer. So they would ask you to produce the different articles that you might have written for different websites, or they might ask you to produce different photographs if you want to be a model, right? You might have heard that models are asked to bring their portfolios, even actresses. So that is basically the collection of the work that they have done previously so that they can save time by that. Similarly, you can be a graphic designer, you're applying for that post, and you might have your own collection of all the designing work that you might have done previously, or for the previous organization, or maybe as a freelancer for different clients. So that is how important a portfolio is. So if you are in an industry that requires such kind of work, such kind of skill sets, then definitely go and build your portfolio, your sample work. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the second segment, where I shared the 5 ways to communicate that you are the right fit for the job role. I hope you enjoyed this entire video, and if you really found it useful, please do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This is really going to encourage me to produce more valuable content for you. Well, that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next video.